With the hot starts of Josh Hamilton and Matt Kemp, one guy down in Flushing, Queens has been forgotten. David Wright is back, and he's led the Mets to a great start to the 2012 season. Hey everybody, it's Paulie. Welcome back to This Week in Red, where we're talking all things Red Sox and Major League Baseball. So a player that's been much maligned the last couple of years has really had a great comeback early in 2012, and that is David Wright of the New York Mets. He's hitting close to 400, and he has basically carried the Mets the first couple of months of the season as they've hovered around the 500 mark or a few games over, and they've actually been in contention in the NL East. Now, I don't know how long the Mets are going to be able to stay with the front runners in the National League East this year, but it's not going to be because David Wright isn't leading them in the right direction. You know, Wright has been a much maligned player in New York for the last couple of years. When he was there with Jose Reyes, they were supposed to be the bridge to the future of the New York Mets. These were the two guys the Mets were going to build their franchise around. Well, Reyes had a lot of injury problems up until last year, but then he left the Mets for the Miami Marlins, and a free agent contract. So that left David Wright as the face of the Mets. And you know, he had a couple of seasons these last 2 years where he wasn't very good, to be quite honest. He had some injuries, he wasn't adjusting well to the big confines of Citi Field, and he wasn't hitting the way everybody was accustomed to seeing David Wright hit. Well, apparently he had some resurgence in the offseason, and he has found his stroke once again. He's now the centerpiece of the Met offense and the Met team. The Mets moved the fences in at Citi Field to try to help him and Jason Bay and some other guys hit a little better, and it certainly worked because Wright has been dominant so far. Now, I don't think he's going to hit 400, and I don't think he's a better player than Josh Hamilton or Matt Kemp, but he's a very good player, and when he plays like this, Wright shows why he's one of the best in baseball and why he should be the centerpiece of the Mets. And he should be re-signed before he hits free agency, because if he plays like this, the team's going to build around him, and they should. Because David Wright brings a lot of personality and a lot of accountability to the Mets clubhouse and the Mets franchise. And all in all, he's a great guy. So it's great to see David Wright having the kind of year that he's having for the Mets. And I hope it continues, and I hope the Mets re-sign him because he is good for baseball, and he's good for New York, and hopefully the Mets will be able to keep him. But if you were Met management, what would you do with the David Wright situation? Based on how he's played this year, what would you do in the offseason as he approaches free agency? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and tell all your friends about This Week in Red.